Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream of our pre-debate coverage. So this is the conversation as always. So we're continuing kind of our live streams on YouTube for our political stuff. So we actually did a series on the Democratic and Republican National Convention. You can check that out on our YouTube channel. But today we were with Mark and Max. Yeah, awesome.
Woo!
So we're gonna have some great discussions. Really hyped for this debate, right, guys?
Oh yeah, really excited.
Definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, this is gonna be a really interesting one. Of course, you know the Democratic primary process is long gone. We have our two contenders, Donald Trump and Joe Biden. So I think this is gonna be really great debate. You know, we have so many things to talk about, so many things that have happened. I mean, this is like the coronavirus. This is like the first one of, other than the swine flu, right? Smallpox in 1920s, or whatever that epidemic was called. This is really
Spanish flu of 1918.
Spanish flu. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Max. This is really going to be the first time that we have a debate. Actually, probably the first time we have a televised debate. During a pandemic. So this is this is an unprecedented time. So I think we're definitely going to see some interesting new things going on. Super excited for that. Also, just to mention in passing, I think we'll have Jake on later on in the show. Maybe even for the pre-coverage, we'll see. Maybe he'll pop in, say hi to us. So I think just before we get started, though. I would just like to talk about the Supreme Court. Of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg passed away. I think it was a week ago. I don't remember.
Friday.
Last Friday.
Oh no, 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Almost 2 weeks now.
Yeah, and it's been 2020 of course has been a very tough year for all of the reasons, and I think this really adds to the pain, right? I mean, she was such an amazing justice, championing women's rights, and I think she was one of our best justices, and she really did America proud. Max, do you have any words to say on Ruth Bader Ginsburg just before we get into our pre-coverage?
Well, I mean, she tried to hang on as long as she could. She almost made it. But I think she's, even if Joe Biden becomes president, she's pretty irreplaceable as a justice. I think she was very unique in the way that she held herself, and the way that she dissented, especially. Those were very popular. And I think that she was an inspiration to many people, and she will continue to inspire people. And I think that she is she will probably be one of the most remembered justices in American history.
I think, yeah. Mark?
I was just going to say that, we have this justice that we revere so much for women's rights, and you kind of contrast that with the Supreme Court nomination that we have under Trump, Amy Coney Barrett, who's pretty much the opposite of that. Who's anti-abortion, who is I don't know if you guys heard of this, but I think she's part of this kind of weird religious cult.
I have heard of that.
Really fascinating stuff in a weird way, where all decisions in the household must be made by the husband. So she's technically living her life in submission towards her husband. So you got to wonder, how does that play on a national scale in the Supreme Court? If he has kind of religious fundamentalist views, like I think we're anticipating she's going to have, you got to wonder. Well, we know we're not wondering. We know what her views are. It's just kind of upsetting to have someone who's so progressive, so fundamental for women's rights, be replaced by someone who's basically the antithesis of the movement that she's supporting.
I mean, totally. So we have Jake coming into the stream. Hi, Jake. Yeah.
How are you guys?
Yeah, great to see you.
Good to see you guys too.
Yeah, totally.
Wait, before we get into it, just want to thank all of our viewers We got Thomas out here, we got Max out here, we got Jan out here, Archie. So thanks to you guys for coming.
I think we got record attendance today, right, guys?
Record attendance of like 5 people. Let's go. It means a lot. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much to everybody watching, joining in on the live stream today. So specifically, we learned beforehand that in the debate, there will be a couple of topics. There are going to be 6 major topics, I think. And so, I think there's the coronavirus, there's the economy, there's of course the Supreme Court. They're going to talk about each other's records. I think there might be another. I think there might be another.
2 more. There's the integrity of the election, and a name that I don't quite agree with, but they called it race and violence in our cities.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit of a controversial naming choice.
Yeah.
In mine and a few other people's opinions. So, I mean, kind of.
You know what it feels like for me? I don't want to cut you off, Max, but
no, go for it.
These topics, they feel. This is just kind of like the first instinct that I had. It felt like it was certainly more topics that favor the left a little bit more. I just don't think that a lot of Republicans want to be talking about the integrity of the election, because it's just something that I think we take for granted, and I think it's certainly a concern to the left. But if you're a huge Trump supporter, I don't think you're basically questioning whether or not Trump is going to do something illegal because they've supported him.
But that's the thing. I think that when they say election integrity, this is going to be the part where Trump brings up the fact that it's rigged, and all those talking points. So I think they're less interested with if the election is like if there's integrity, and more interested in are the Democrats going to cheat, or are they going to steal the election away from our president, that kind of thing.
Jake, what do you think about the integrity of the election?
Well, I was just doing some research. I know our producer Tom had just left in the chat that Joe Biden had released his tax returns. I thought that was very interesting. I know this happened probably 7 hours ago, but that he and his wife paid $300,000 in taxes. I think that's really great coming into the election or the debate today. Also, I know you guys were talking about Ruth Bader Ginsburg earlier, and I just thought that it was a real shame that the end of her life and the end of her monumental service at the Supreme Court really brought out the worst in American politics. The Democrats really trying to block probably the most normal thing President Trump has done is in his entire presidency, which would be to nominate and potentially get approved a new Supreme Court justice, which is what a president does when one dies. And I think that it's incredibly immature that the Democrats are trying to block that. But at the same time, the Republicans don't play by the rules either. And obviously, they are going against every principle that there should at least try to be some moderates on the Supreme Court instead of Catholic cultists.
Well, that and also there should be some consistency in your rhetoric. Like, if you're going to block a Supreme Court justice before 200 days before another election, I get that it's a president's job, but why didn't you let the last president do it either? It's kind of hypocritical.
As I said,
it's
politics.
Yeah, it's totally that's the problem. It's totally hypocritical, of course. And so I think though that this right now, Trump's whole presidency has showed us kind of the deficiencies in the Supreme Court as the nature of the Supreme Court, its deficiencies. I think the last 4 years. Personally, I think. Of course, the Supreme Court is really important, but at the same time, we've seen it be so politicized, and it's really the thing is that what is the old saying? Justice is blind, right? Justice isn't some far right cultist out of The Handmaid's Tale, right? Justice isn't some far left communist. Even I, being more of the left, I think it's important that we have moderate judges because I think it's really about following the rule of law and saying if this is constitutional or not. It's not about saying it shouldn't. Either way, I think that the court has become super politicized and it's become kind of like a form of enacting laws is saying this law is right. It's like kind of like a veto, saying this law is right, this law is wrong, when it's totally not supposed to be that way.
And
So
also, like, talking about justices like as conservative and liberal is also kind of like a problematic. Like, if you want to depoliticize the Supreme Court, you can't refer to justices as conservative or liberal, because you're basically like aligning them with a party. You're being like, look, like Clarence Thomas is like a hardline Republican. Like, you can't. If he's a justice, he should be just a justice, not a conservative justice or a liberal justice.
yeah, I think also, I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't like, this is kind of like off topic a bit, but I think that personally, I think they should totally reform the court. I think certain candidates have been like, okay, we need to expand the court, we need to have more justices, but I think it kind of kicks the bucket down the road. I honestly think it should be totally separated from like, I don't think the president should nominate the court. I think it should be like some, like the in the Vatican, how they nominate the Pope. They have a bunch of cardinals. They put them in a dark room, and then they have like 400.
Honestly,
You have like 400 cardinals. So like, what you do is like you have like the 400 judges.
Right now? But
Then you have like the Max. I have my idea. Okay, this is a great idea. Wait, 1 second. Okay, yes, we have our 400 judges. We put them in like a room, and then they have to decide like who is the next Supreme Court justice. And then you don't have
appointed by the president.
Yeah, instead of like having it appointed by the president, because
No,
the
but are the
president
judges that are voting appointed by the president?
Yeah, but with 400, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, Trump's nominated like 280 or something, so you have 400. I mean, like.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Trump isn't like saying I don't. I mean, again, I don't know, but I don't think
there aren't 280 hardline Catholic conservatives.
Miles, what do you think of term limits?
I think that's a good idea. I think that's like a good idea, right? I mean, like, I don't think Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have had to be on the court for 27 years. I mean, she deserved retirement, right? She deserved to spend some time on a Florida golf course enjoying her last, her last years in life. And that's the sad truth. It's because it's so sad, I think, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was forced to live the last 4 years of her life, in the Trump presidency, right, being a Supreme Court, because she knew that if she was not going to be a Supreme Court, that seat was going to be immediately filled. And I think I think that the justices, they should enjoy themselves. They should have a break every once in a while. We have vacations, right? They should have vacations.
Work herself to death, and it's a real shame.
It is. I think it's in theory a good idea. Again, I mean, I don't know in practice how it would work, but I think I would definitely be open to it. I think it's a potential way, although I do prefer getting the 400 judges in a dark room and then deciding like some cultist style who are going to be the Supreme Court justices. It makes things, in my opinion, a lot more apolitical and better.
I think you're right, but it would just take forever, and
I mean, it already takes forever.
That's true. But like, I think I would. I don't know how it would work in practice, but I would tend to agree with you, Miles. But I still think that, like, I think term limits. I think there should be term limits, just because then you don't get stuck with someone like Amy Coney Barrett for 40 years. If she lives till the age of 88, then if there's like a